Hey everyone, and welcome back. We have a lot to discuss. Obviously, we're gonna focus everything on the Nintendo Direct, and the way we're gonna do it, I've got all of the announcements as they happened. Okay, so we'll go through this, but I'm not gonna be Tim, so I'm not gonna read little captions. I'm gonna go through because there was so much stuff, guys. This was an hour and 6 minutes, the largest direct Nintendo has ever held. We'll save our thoughts and stuff like that for the end, just to keep us focused here. And I'm not going to talk about all the stuff, like they announced stuff for like the Tokyo Marathon, the Nintendo Museum. I'm not going to talk about that. We're going to keep it strictly
What
to the
about
games. But no,
about the
accessories. Yeah,
that is
we'll talk
little
about some of the accessories and stuff
talking
like that.
flowers.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
Talking Flower, we'll see if it makes the cut.
oh, by the way, do you have any numbers? Does those things even sell, man?
They won't.
I've always
They
wondered.
don't. They
They
don't.
don't? Oh,
No.
okay.
Well,
Then
no,
why do
no,
they
no, no,
bother?
no, 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 no. I'm saying they don't tell us. I don't know. I have no
Oh, okay,
idea.
okay. I don't think
Okay,
they sell.
so first things first. They basically talked about the 40th anniversary
Yeah.
of Super Mario Brothers or Mario, whatever, and they started off with basically a teaser of the new movie. That's the only non-gaming related thing I'll probably like talk about here. If I miss something, I'm sorry. I mean, it was a teaser, guys. There was no dialogue, no nothing, except we got the official name, which is basically the Super. What is it? It's Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie, or the Super Mario Galaxy movie, something like that.
The Super Mario Bros. Yeah, Galaxy movie, and then they announced the actors are coming back and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. But
But
I mean, I won't lie. Like at first, for half a second, I was like, "Oh damn, they're actually going to announce the new 3D Mario." But then I saw how lush like everything was, because it was like a little whatever those things are called that were like flying around. And but just for a second, I was like, "Holy crap, we're going to get Super Mario Galaxy 3." Like just a
yeah,
second.
yeah. And when I saw that, and they're also kind of disappointed that they said that's going to be the main focal point of the 40th anniversary is the movie. So that kind of sucks. Maybe there'll be more surprises, but we can almost pretty much guarantee that Galaxy 3 will be their next game. I mean, it's just kind of writing on the wall, right? They're
Well,
remaking.
we'll see. We'll
What,
see. We'll
what you
see.
don't think? Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah, so the tentpole is going to be the movie, and honestly, that's no surprise. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone because the movie made hundreds of gajillions of dollars. So they cleaned up at the box office.
Uh,
So that's not a surprise that's the case. And then of course they announced Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And this was a trend that they continued through the whole thing, and it's what they always do. They don't talk about pricing or anything like that. They gave the release date, but Tim's gonna have a field day here because I will just say prices are very steep for pretty much everything. Like we have amiibos now that are like 50
yeah.
bucks. We've got like prices are definitely going up there. So I don't know like Canada versus the US, but in Canada this bundle's like $100, and that's a lot
Yeah.
for
After during the whole presentation, I'm like, wow, this is like an advertisement for merchandise. They're like aggressively going into it, right? Amiibos, books. You saw that book,
yeah,
just
yeah,
the
yeah,
even
exactly.
it doesn't even include the new pages from the game. That kind of thought was a rip off. Like, okay, you get the physical edition, but you don't get these additional what's it called, pages. That I thought was stupid. And then
So
it's like
I'm gonna
the
need
talking
you.
flower. It's just man, it's
I'm
just
gonna
they're
need you, Tim.
greedy.
I'm gonna need you to mention stuff like that because the list I have is
Oh,
like really focused on the games. Okay, like
okay.
because it was hard to find a recap of the announcements as they happen. Everybody just pulled like all the Nintendo stuff together, all the Capcom stuff, and I was like, no, I want to go through it like it was announced. So that's a good point. Like I would have forgotten to mention like the little book thing, the storybook. So they
Yeah, and
announced
who?
they announced new amiibos that are going to go along with this, and everything's coming out on October 2nd, which is right around the corner. So that's kind of cool because as of the time of this recording today is the 40th anniversary of Mario.
Of Mario,
which
Super
is
Mario.
yeah,
Not Mario Brothers, but Super Mario
yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah,
Mario Brothers was
yeah, that was yeah, exactly. So
I'm surprised they don't celebrate that game because technically that was the first, right?
yeah, I think they do it because of just what happened with Super Mario Brothers, right?
Yeah, it was much bigger.
That's it. And well, it like basically rejuvenated the entire video game industry, right? And like introduced the whole concept. There was parallax scrolling, but that really took it. Like we were so guys,
level,
like we were so used to single screen games back then, and now here's like this world that you could move in. I know that sounds ridiculous today, but it was a huge deal back in the day. And then they announced Tim's Game of the Year next year, and he won't stop talking about this. He was like,
"There was no other game that the direct that was worthy except for this one."
Apparently, so just to give you an idea of what we're talking about here, so Mario Tennis Fever was announced. It's coming out February 12th. And go ahead, you're the fan.
Oh, okay. So this has been one of my cherished ones. It started on the 64, if I remember right. Right. Well, Mario Tennis has been on the Game Boy systems, but the proper 3D, I think it was the Nintendo 64. Fell in love with it. It's been gimmicky over the years. Some of the stuff, luckily, they allowed you to turn off. Some of the gimmicks I'm not too care for. But anyways, it has multiple modes, which is interesting because the last Strikers game, which people complained didn't have a lot of content, didn't have really a lot of modes, which was unheard of usually. They usually Camelot does usually a really good job. Anyways, besides the point. But we have multiple modes, multiple stuff. But the most important thing is the adventure mode, which traditionally has been exclusive to the handheld Game Boy Advance or Game Boy system. So I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously, it's just going to be cheesy. It'll basically elaborated intro, but I'll have a little bit of a story. But I'm kind of glad because I think a lot of fans like that. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun playing online and stuff like that. And I was really happy. They didn't announce any of the... If you read the comments, Sluggers, man, that's been a long time since we had a Mario Sluggers game. They do everything else, but right?
That was actually kind of interesting. That was what, if I had to predict a sports game, that was actually going. Would
have been Sluggers.
Yeah, because it was like it's been a while. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be, but wasn't the first sports game on Switch in the Mario series also tennis?
Yeah. Tennis has been kind of their go-to, right?
Interesting.
Obviously, golf. Golf is... Well, I'm pretty sure we'll have another golf.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it's interesting because it feels like they're following what they did on the Switch. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was interesting. 38 playable characters, the adventure.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Huge amounts of characters at launch, which is interesting because they could have done DLC. First thing I checked when I saw the announcement, though, is the price. It's $69.99 USD. I was worried, Jared, that it might have been 80 because
don't worry.
World is 80, so
we're getting there. Don't worry.
We're gonna get there.
You'll see. I think I've got
70. Oh, wow, it's only $70, guys. Don't worry.
I've got their strategy now. So like if they lower the price, they typically release amiibos now to boost up the thing, or they have DLC for $20,
which we'll be talking about.
Yeah, but it's interesting. All this to say is just that like, you guys are going to have to save your pennies. That's all I'm going to say about this.
Yeah, there's no way around it. They do have occasional sales, but it's usually 10%, 15% if you're lucky. But
so
it is what it is.
One thing I was kind of surprised like right away, right? Like we had the storybook sort of swag or merchandise, whatever. It's not swag, it's merchandise. For Super Mario Galaxy, we had some amiibos. I think there were 2 amiibos that were announced. I was kind of like, because you'll see, guys, as we go through this, there was so much merchandise that
I was laughing.
It was unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
So I was surprised when they announced this. I was like, all right, where's our Mario Tennis amiibo? But no Mario Tennis
I was
amiibo.
Kind of surprised.
Okay. Another trend that Nintendo's been doing a lot lately is this whole plus thing. So they basically have like the base game, like Kirby, right? I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it was released last month, where you had like the Kirby game plus and the expansion thing, and that's the actual name of the product. They put it all together in this crazy thing. So the next game they announced was Super Mario Brothers Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bella Bell Park. I kid you not, that is the official title.
Yeah. And I saw that. And I was thinking, that actually looks like a lot of fun if you had friends over. But dude, I haven't played with my friends on consoles in years.
Yeah, that's okay. So it's but never it's not you.
This isn't you. But it actually looked like it'd be a lot of fun.
It did.
A couple buddies over.
Yeah.
You guys play. It'd be actually fun. I'm like, too bad. He's like, it's not, I wouldn't buy it just for online though.
No, but still, like Ahmed is like the go-to guy of like I love that he still has friends that come over every now and then. He's got the kids and everything like that.
Really? Was he?
Yeah, he still has friends that come over and like they played a GoldenEye session on the Switch Online with the N64 like controllers. I like that. I'm like I wish I had that. I don't have that either.
I would love to know how many people still do that though.
Well, it's probably not like a ridiculous amount, but this is aimed for families, right? This is you have a couple of kids and you go. So spring 2026, I think I told you guys, right? With tennis, it's February 12th. If I didn't, it's February 12th.
I'll tell you guys, quarter 1 2026
Switch
2 is packed.
Screw that. As of next month, hold on to your butts. It's unreal, man. Like Q4, Q1, and I think, we're skipping ahead, but I honestly think that like mission accomplished. Like their job with this direct, and it seems to be what Nintendo's strategy is right now. They don't want to do what Microsoft and Sony are doing, and they're like, let's announce a game for 2029. Like they seem to be,
which is kind of better.
Yeah, it is better. Like I like that they're focusing on like, spring, like and stuff like that. Like that's pretty much as far out as they've gone. So anyways, they did say that they're going to have a lot more information about Super Mario Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition in the coming months. So they're like, hold on to your butts. So I thought that was really cool. And then the next game, and I think they said this was the final one before the direct would begin. This one, guys, this one was a special one for me personally.
Yoshi, it actually looks really good.
It does.
It looks really, really good.
It's called Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. So you guys know they've been playing around with Yoshi for a long time, right? Like from all the way back at Yoshi's Island to we had like Woolly World, we had like all these different things. I really like these games. Like I don't know, like there's something about these games that just really appeal to me, where you can just sit back, relax and play.
And they tend to be a little bit on the easier side.
Yeah, but
they're geared towards a younger audience.
Yeah,
right?
and I like that. Like I actually really like that, where you can just, not every game needs to be a roguelite game and
that's the thing about we'll discuss that in another podcast, but I'm tired of roguelikes which is interesting. We're going to be talking about roguelike in a minute with other announcements, but I'm tired of them. But the thing about this though is, and I told you, we're beating a dead horse, is Nintendo's the only company that can get away with $69 for this type of game. This type of game would be $40 tops.
Okay, whatever. I don't care about pricing. Get another job.
You should. It's just they get away with murder, man.
Okay. One thing, what I liked with this was just different setting, right? Like we've had a lot of the yarn, wool, all that kind of stuff. So I like the fact that this is like a storybook sort of setting. And take a look at the trailer, guys. It's phenomenal.
Really nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Really, really nice. This one comes out spring again, 2026. And I like that because like you'll see as we go through, you basically have 1 or 2 games a month, every month from January to February. And then after February, they have this sort of like, mysterious spring type of thing. And I'm totally okay with that because we know there's going to be another direct early next year. And I think that's what they're going to actually be doing moving forward, is it's going to be from one direct to another direct to another direct. And I kind of like this. I know that like I was reading online and people are like, oh, like what else is coming and whatever. And it's like if
I
you're
thought there's a lot
expecting
coming.
no, but I think
What
it's
were
like they're thinking like what's next year's like holiday title, and it's like guys
Well, that's
like
far fetched. Yeah, that's what. That's what I told some people too. It's like I don't like they do that with PC gaming a lot.
they do it
They'll
with
announce
everything.
a game over a year and a half to 2 years. I was like, what's the point,
Look
man?
at
You
Naughty
get-
Dog, man. Like what was
Yeah,
that
yeah,
last
exactly. It's
year
just-
we saw like the teaser for their new game, and they're like, oh, 2026. I'm like, yeah, okay. It's probably gonna be like 2027. And it's
yeah, like
it's
I
stupid.
think yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 is not going to be. They say they're releasing 2028 for PC. It's like because I guess it's going to be exclusive
Well, whatever.
console for a while.
Whatever.
So we'll see about that. But yeah, that's stupid. It's like how am I going to get a hype for a game that's like what 3 years away?
No, exactly. So, anyways, so some of these, like I said, I'm gonna go quick, okay? Because I'm not gonna read the whole synopsis of what they are, whatever. I'm gonna focus on like the big announcements. So the direct started with a shadow drop, meaning that the game was available immediately, and it's called
Oh, I love
Storm
them doing
Lancers.
Yeah,
and this
that's pretty cool.
yeah, like whatever. It's again, it's another roguelike type game. But what's cool with this one is it reminds me of like the 1980s cartoons. Like it has that kind of like vibe aesthetic to it, which was kind of cool. Next up, we had Dinkum.
Well, that's been on PC for a while,
It
by the
has.
way.
Yeah, and this one's coming out
It
November
gets-
9th.
And that's a shadow drop, and that's a pretty good game.
No, it's not a
by-
shadow
used
drop.
on Steam.
November 9th.
Oh, well, I mean, it's coming out quick rather than waiting, and that's got good reception on PC, guys. So it might be something you guys are interested in.
Yeah, and it's a cross between like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley. It's like one of those cozy / farming type of games. After that, we had this interesting puzzle shooter. It kind of reminded me of
Yep.
like a 3D Columns.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When I was hoping you would notice it too. I'm like, this, and it's co-op, by the way, which
Yeah.
is a trend that's happening. Real co-op, where you actually real-time action, solving puzzles and stuff. You have to do shields, so that's kind of cool. I actually wouldn't mind playing that. I bet it'd be a lot of fun. But again, finding people to play. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
that's
can
the-
play it online. You probably only can play it couch co-op, so that's not going to be an option. But yeah, it really looks cool. It's like a hybrid between puzzle game and
Yeah, so it's
action platform.
yeah, it's kind of like think of like Splatoon, like your third person like shooter type thing, except that you've got it works like columns where you have like 3 colors that you have to match in order to like, progress type thing. Anyway, it's called Popucom. So that's
Yeah, it looks
that.
interesting. Let's know if you guys.
When did I say? Oh, that
Looks actually
one.
pretty
That one's actually coming out holiday 2025. So interesting. It's this year holiday, but no release date.
Release
yet,
date, yeah.
which is interesting. Then there's Tamagotchi Life, Living the
Ah.
Dream. These games are ridiculously bizarre and look weird as hell.
eh.
That one's coming out on in spring 2026. Interestingly, though, it's a Switch 1 game. That I should have actually been saying that if this is Switch 1 or Switch 2 or whatever. But obviously, due to backwards compatibility, it'll be Switch 2 playable. But interesting, there was no talk about like a Switch 2 edition, so that was interesting. I couldn't care less about that, so moving right along. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. This has been announced for everything under the sun. It's coming out for both Switch and Switch 2. I'll start doing that. Obviously, guys, all those big Nintendo releases I talked about, except for the Galaxies, they're all Switch 2. Obviously, like Wonder Switch 2 edition. Yoshi's, the Yoshi game is
Nintendo
obviously
Switch
Switch 2.
2.
So anyways, so this one's coming out October 30th. So as you can see, like you're getting games, right? Like you are getting games. Hello, little guy. That little cat that just had something to eat. Here's a game that got pushed back. And that's okay. I think this is okay. And that's Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrad. It's a Nintendo Switch 2 game coming out on January 22nd, 2026. And they have officially confirmed the entire trilogy will be making its way to the Switch 2. And you will see later on as we go through this that Nintendo is flexing a little bit. And not with this particular release, although it everyone who's played it is like, it looks incredible and it plays super well. Which is all the more impressive when you think that really the Switch is a handheld device. Like that's impressive. Next up, we got Linked Banner of the Spark. This one's again
that's
Switch
a shadow
1.
drop.
Yeah, exactly. Switch 1, Switch 2, Shadow Drop, released today. Again, this is another one of these. I don't even know. I don't even
It's
remember.
a roguelike
Oh,
type
yes. Yeah.
camp. That's actually one I've been kind of thinking about getting on PC. I might get it on the Switch too. This is by Dreamhaven, which is ex Blizzard co-founder, that his new indie studio. So I hope it does well for it. It's on PC and it's got good reviews, guys. It seems like it's a really good game. And if you look at the comments about the actual individual trailer, they do the direct and then they release the trailer at the same time. There, a lot of people seem to be looking forward to it. But yeah, it's been on the PC. So if you guys want to look on Steam for reviews, it's definitely interesting. Looks like a good little game, and I hope it does good for Dreamhaven, because they just did some layoffs because their games aren't selling quite as well as they. It's tough for in this industry, especially being an indie developer, even more.
Unless
Maybe
you make Hollow Knight, in which case,
Yeah. Most indie games are pretty niche, but some of them hit gold, and Hollow Knights is one of them.
Yeah, so next was a very big one, and that's Hades 2. I won't go.
Yeah, no surprise.
Knows,
no one needs. Yeah, we don't need to just talk. Everyone knows that.
I was a little surprised. My spidey sense was telling me that this was going to be a shadow drop, and it wasn't. It actually comes out September 25th for both Switch 1 and 2. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I just thought, I don't know. I was like, ooh, I have a feeling this one might be out. But again, with Silk Song just getting released and exploding,
you want to give it some time.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea to give it some time. Then they announced the world's most expensive amiibos. I'm waiting for the prices of these, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be like $60 to $80 in Canada.
Insane, dude, insane.
So they basically announced 2 Kirby Air Riders amiibos, but you can take. So they're riders, right? So they have the vehicle, and then you have like Kirby, and you can actually take Kirby off the vehicle and swap places. And of course, they're like, "Oh, and we're gonna announce a lot more." I'm like, "Yeah, of course, Sakurai, right? Like you're gonna follow the Smash Brothers thing, and there's gonna be a billion of these things." But be warned, very expensive. I forget the exact like total cost there, but it's not going to be cheap. Because of Sakurai, you can expect another direct that will be dedicated exclusively to Kirby Air Riders. Honestly, guys, I don't even know if this is going to sell. We'll see. I don't
know, man. There's a lot of Kirby fans out there, but it's in the Shadow of World, right? So
yeah, and like for me, the first one was okay. It's people forget like your vehicle is constantly moving. It was designed so that even the very, very young could play this. It does have depth. It's very Smash-like in the sense of like, holding the analog in a specific thing while you do something will change the mechanics. Very similar to the way, Smash works in its fundamental controls. It's basically Smash Brothers on a racing, like in a racing game type of thing. So I just laughed when I heard that. Everyone was like, kissing the ring. They were all saying, because like Nintendo will do whatever it takes to make Sakurai happy. And so, because they want another Smash Brothers, but it's going to be very interesting how they convince him to do that. And I'm pretty sure the way they're convincing him is like stuff like this,
that money helps too.
Yeah, right? Of course. But I think it's like, listen, you took a break, you did something else. Now it's time to pay the piper, right? Sort of deal. Then they announced Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. We got like, I don't know, I want to say the 14th trailer. I actually think it's like the 3rd or 4th. But we got the release date. Now, this is one that you and I have spoken about quite a bit. I've been very vocal in saying that something feels off with the release schedule. Like just something feels a little bit off in the release schedule. And we had like August was good, September was meh, and October's good with Pokemon, and then we had November with Kirby Air Riders, December was wah wah. So now things are starting to get like sort of like full. So November 6th That surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. That actually surprised me because I was like,
Really?
well, I'm like, you got Kirby Air Riders, which according to
Yep.
the directs is gonna be the number one selling game, and like it's gonna beat Diablo 2. Like the way they're making it sound is like this is like their tentpole release. So that was interesting to me. So I was like, okay. So they're gonna have two tentpole games or whatever for the holiday season. I know a lot of folks are going to be really, really happy with that. So very cool. And then I wish you would have been watching with me, because if you would have been watching with me, if anyone would have been watching with me, I just see water and a little island. Right?
Hey,
like
you
that's
knew right off the
yeah,
bat?
right away, man. As soon as I saw the water and the island, I was like, no way. That's literally what I said. I was like, no way. And then you hear the voiceover and they're talking about like 1, 2, 3 to lift up the tablet. If you've ever played Dragon Warrior 7 or Dragon Quest 7, the 3DS remake, you know that that's literally how the game starts. And then we got, I'm not going to go through, I could talk about this for like hours. So for me, this is my Mario Tennis. This was a really, really big deal for me because, well, a couple of things happened right away. So it reminds me a lot of Fantasian. So I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was Sakaguchi's game that he released on Apple Arcade. It's since been released on Steam and everywhere else. And that was super cool because he actually built dioramas and they took like HD photographs of it and basically had pre-rendered backgrounds of the real dioramas. I don't know if they did the same thing here or they just used animation to make it look like that, but they did confirm that they scanned dolls, like actual dolls, in order to make the character models. And you can really tell,
Yeah,
like,
cool. Yeah, you could tell there's a certain unique flavor to it. And actually, the game looks really good, man.
It does.
Looks like it's going to be, yeah.
But
all the things you saw, some of our community members were saying that, well, 7 has already been redone on the DS and all that kind of stuff. They want 9. Oh, everyone wants 9, right?
well, everyone wants what they want, right?
Yeah,
Like that's always the thing. So a couple of quick comments on this. I can't just let this go just because like there's a couple of interesting things. So first off, everybody, I get asked this a lot of like why 7? Why are they always like why go back to 7? You haven't done 9 ever. You've never redone 9.
Yeah, exactly.
You had the Zenithia trilogy. You haven't done so 4, 5, and 6, right? You just redid 1, 2, and 3. Why would you not redo 4, 5, and 6 for modern platforms? 8 was the first breakthrough game in North America. Still one of my favorite. Love the story of that. Why not that? Like, why 7? And my answer to that is you have to remember that Dragon Quest 7 is the highest selling PlayStation 1 game in history in Japan. So it's like a monumental game for them. And yes, they basically want the rest of the world to understand what makes that game so special. And there was another video they actually released, of course, only in Japanese. But the beauty of YouTube now is it auto translates everything, which is awesome. So if you want to watch it, you can go ahead and watch it. So I'm wearing my one of my Dragon Quest shirts today and everything in celebration of this. But one of the things that they talked about, I'm not going to go into all the gameplay and stuff, but one of the things that they talked about that's really important is that the game scenario has been completely redone. Now that's unique because the 3DS version added some quality of life improvements, but it was still the same scenario. They fixed they modernized the beginning of the game. So in the original Dragon Quest 7 on PlayStation 1, no joke, it would take about an hour and a half to 2 hours before you fought your first slime. Okay.
Wow, really?
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Like really, really, really. And not in the 3DS remake. Like they really streamlined that whole thing. A couple of other areas, but the way that Yuji Horii was talking about it in the video is that they've now really made it like a vignette. So it's going to be like little stories, which it always was, but I'm very curious how they're going to speed up the process, because the fundamental it's not a flaw, I don't want to say that, but the way the game was designed is that you go back in time, you find these fragments, okay, and when you solve the problem of the past, so every town that you go and explore, every piece of land that you go and explore will have a dungeon, it'll have a town, it'll have its own self-contained little story. When you fix that or solve that or complete that, whatever you want to call it, you then come back to the present, and in the present, the island is suddenly there. So then you go back to the island in present time to find out, like, well, what the hell happened, right? Like it's been X number of years since you originally went back in the past and did all these sorts of things. The fundamental flaw, if you will, in people's brains when they think of this is that it's hyper repetitive, right?
Yeah, it was grindy. That's what our community members said. They said, I'm pretty sure they'll address that, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm curious how they're going to do that, because it's the way you play the game. You go back in the past, you solve a problem in the town, you go into the present, the town now reappears all these years later, you go back to the town, and there's almost always something else you have to do. You have to repeat dungeons twice, and I'm not sure how they're going to do that while maintaining the same overarching storyline. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say about this. But the last curious thing is this is getting released for Switch 1 and Switch 2 on February 5th. And that is weird. That's really weird, because Dragon Quest 1 and 2 comes out like October 26th, something like that. Why would you do that? Like, why would you cannibalize your own market?
Well, it's enough distance, and they're probably banking on the Switch 2's limited library to feast, to keep people busy, right?
Yeah, but keep in mind, it's
you,
not Switch 2, right? Like, this is PlayStation, Steam, the whole thing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Their only logical explanation is you have something else coming later in the year. Now, I know that we have Dragon Quest X's new expansion will be released in around October, November next year, but they're not going to, like, the rest of the world is not going to get that, so who cares? So I'm genuinely wondering, did they finish 12? Is that the reason they're doing
you'd
this?
think they would have hyped it up by now, right? I mean, that...
No, they usually don't. They usually, not if they have remakes. If they have remakes, you'll find out about that in like May. Like, it would be part of like the May announcement to say like this holiday, sort of deal. And if not, if next year there are no new Dragon Quest games that come out outside of this, then I'm lost. It makes no sense. This should have been pushed to like summer. Like, give Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remaster like some breathing room, because as it is now, it's like three months and like 2 weeks. That makes no sense to me. Like, why you would do that unless there's something coming. So we'll see. I'm curious to hear if you guys have any thoughts on that, but I just find the timing of that a little bit weird. And then after that was just the most, I'm gonna swear, batshit crazy announcement of this entire direct. I literally sat here all excited about Dragon Quest 7, except when I saw the date, I was like, what? I'm like, that's crazy. And then you see this reddish hue, and they are announcing that Virtual Boy is coming to the Nintendo Classics on both Switch 1 and Switch 2 on February 17th. And if that wasn't crazy enough, exclusive to Nintendo Online members, you can order the actual headset, the original replica, a replica of the original headset with the feet, with the foam thing, and you actually slide your Switch inside it. And I just looked at this and I was like, this is one of the worst systems ever
Yeah, they want us
made.
to fail again, dude. I don't see anyone, but at least there's a cardboard edition, so
Yeah.
maybe people will be, that'll probably be pretty relatively cheap.
I
So
think
maybe,
it's 25 or 30 bucks,
yeah,
and
yeah. So
the headset
even
is
then,
100.
yeah. I thought that was, I laughed because I'm like, it's one of the worst systems ever made, and they're just, yeah,
It has what?
it's
I
not
think it's
good.
18 games were released on it, something like that, and 14 of them are coming. Don't worry, Waterworld is not one of them. But it made me laugh so much. So I'll tell you the truth. There is a very good game in that library. There's one good game that I enjoyed because of course, I bought that when I was, when it was new, and that is Wario Land. That is the one game that is very good. That's very good because you can go like in and out of the screen. They have like two planes, and so like you can like run left and right, but then you can fly into the screen. That was well done. Everything else is like, what is this? And the thing is, like, you have to remember that this came out in like 95, I think it was, which is right when the PlayStation, Sega Saturn were out, and everybody was all hyped about 3D graphics. And now here's this weird headset thing that's in red and black. So anyway, I was really genuinely surprised when that came out. I'll take a look and see. I went online. It's not available in Canada. I would love to just take some footage of this for just the channel and just to relive like some memories of this. I wonder if it's still going to hurt your eyes as bad as it did
Oh, sure.
originally.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Um,
but yeah, that's a joke.
it's
Merchandising
crazy.
podcast, merchandise direct is what this should be called. Shit, almost everything had some kind of merchandise attached to it.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I guarantee you that is gonna sell out like crazy and be scalped on eBay for like $500 because people are nuts. People are just nuts. Anyway, then we got a couple of like boom, 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 which was Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake for the Switch 2 hitting early 2026. I thought that was gonna lead into a new Fatal Frame, but alas, no, it didn't. Then we got One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Yeah,
This segment was all Switch 2 editions. That
yeah.
just FYI. Fall 2025, which is kind of funny because that's like right now, so I don't know what's happening with that. Overcooked 2 Switch 2 edition, Holiday 2025, Stardew Valley Switch 2 edition, some cool
Oh,
stuff
by
in
the way,
there.
before you go, a lot of these games, I was kind of surprised. A lot of these games use game share feature, guys. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh wow, that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, there was game share, 4K, 60 FPS, some are even like 120 FPS in docked mode. I'm just going through quick because what time is it? Let's see, how are we doing? 37 minutes. Yeah, we're getting there. So yeah, Stardew Valley was pretty cool. You can even use the mouse and stuff if you want, which is kind of neat. Human Fall Flat, again, Switch 2 edition, spring 2026. And then they spent an absurd amount of time with Power Wash Simulator 2. I was
well, which
like,
is really popular, so I'm not
yeah,
too
but
surprised.
what?
But yeah,
But you'll see why I say this, okay? Remember what I'm saying. They spent like 4 minutes on Power Wash Simulator 2, which comes out this fall. Then we had Sukai Game Planet, one of those like food weird game thingies coming out Switch 1 and 2 winter 2025. And then this we got to talk about for a bit. This we got to talk about. Power Wash Simulator 2 had almost 5 minutes of footage.
yep.
And then they showed a weird bike. And it looked like an arm cannon, Samus's arm cannon going into the bike. And then they're driving around, and when I saw the open area, I was like, oof, it looked a little rough. Like it
It
didn't
look a little bland, but you could tell because the thing. And this is where I was going to discuss you about, especially when we come up with the Pokemon footage. Is you could tell that these games are Switch 1, it's just enhanced for Switch 2, so that really sucks. Like this Pokemon game this Metroid is not designed for Switch 2. I can't wait for real, true sequels where it's built from the ground up. But yeah, and but it looked kind of bland.
But wait, let me keep going. So that didn't look like, I was just like, what the hell is this? I was like, I thought this was going to be a segment for Mario Kart World. That's what I thought this was originally going to be. Until you see,
well, they would have done that at the beginning, right?
Oh, that's why I thought, no, but I thought it was going to be like, oh, Samus is coming to Mario Kart, and
that would have been kind of cool.
And then we would have got a Prime thing until you see the bike start shooting at aliens in the sky, and then I was like, well, obviously not. And then, you know, she jumps off the bike and then whoop, right into first person. Then it looks great, right? Like, you got the good lighting and everything like that. And the trailer ends. And I was like, what?
But at least we got a release date. Dude.
We got a release date of December 4th, which is interesting. And then they announced a whole buttload of amiibos that are going to be $900. But they then moved on. And I don't know, man. Like, I understand it's September, right? It is September 13th. We're recording this on September 13th. It is totally possible that we get a direct. It is possible, dedicated to Metroid. But I'll tell you, if we do, of course now he's going to start talking. He wants me to feed him. If we don't get a direct, then guys, I'm afraid of what I'm going to say, but I'm starting to think that this is what's happening. I have a feeling that something is wrong with this, and they know it. And they're basically just like, get it out. Like, we'll take the loss. Like, cut our losses. We'll release a bunch of amiibos. People, that'll help, you know, like, get us some money. But yeah, I don't know. That's not a good sign. The trailer was 1 minute and 20 seconds. If you cut out the amiibo stuff, they spent more time, like 3 times longer, talking about Power Wash Simulator 2 than what should be a very big release for them. I don't know. My spidey sense is going off that something is wrong. They know it's wrong and they just want it out. And it's like, we'll cut the losses. This is not going to sell that well because there's something, you know. I really hope I'm wrong, but in the largest direct you've ever done, to have 1 minute and 20 seconds for Metroid, something seems very off with that. And the fact that the dude, I forget his name, didn't talk. He talked about Dragon Quest, talked about all the Marios. Like, after the trailer, he was like, oh, and they showed...
Yeah, they didn't really show
nothing.
Respect.
Nothing at all, which that has me concerned. Like, I'm worried about this now, because unless we get another trailer, if we get a direct that's dedicated to Metroid and they go in detail and we're all like, oh my god, it looks amazing, then they just suck at marketing. Like, because this was not the way to do this. And I'm not alone. If you go on Reddit, there's so many people now that are like, oh crap, like, this is not a good sign that they did that.
Well, one more thing too, you have to remember that it's never been a great selling
that's the
series, so that Nintendo's like, whatever. You know, Nintendo's kind of prideful, right? They want to focus on profits or more profit driven. So they probably, let's just show them something to shut them up. But they'll be happy enough. That's all they're going to get. So that might be it. Who knows? But you might be right. Maybe something's wrong, fundamentally wrong. We'll see.
We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. God, guys, I hope I'm wrong. It's just a feeling right now, because why aren't you showing the game? Like, that's what's bugging me. Is like, you know, look at like DK Bonanza, what they did, man. They went like all in, showed all kinds of stuff, even before they had like dedicated directs. With Metroid, it's been like drip, drip, and I'm just like, I don't know, and it comes out in 2 months, like, something's weird. And speaking of Donkey Kong, here we go again. Get ready for these fun names. Donkey Kong Bonanza, DK Island, and Emerald Rush DLC shadow dropped yesterday, and it's pretty cool. Like, well,
you got it?
I did not because I haven't finished the game yet.
Because I finished the first one, because I love the comments, because they're like, "Oh wow, thank you, Nintendo, $20, huh? Okay, that is a lot of money for DLC." But what's more interesting is Emerald Rush is kind of a new thing for Nintendo. It's a roguelike, so I kind of like seeing. I'm not a big fan of roguelikes in general, but seeing Nintendo kind of do something a little bit different, that's kind of cool. It might be fun.
Yeah, well,
I don't
what's
know.
really cool is just like being able to explore DK Island, and then you can go and do all this. Like it's like a giant collectathon, basically the Emerald Rush mode, where you can go to all the different layers, and you have like a certain amount of time in order to get like as many of them as you can
And
and stuff.
this is the thing about DLC, because I've told you multiple times of how microtransactions are just the bane of existence, but people continuously support it. But stuff like this, you get the hub and collectibles, and you get a roguelike for $20. I compared to like Rainbow Six Siege, where I'm just using this
But
as an
what's the
example.
roguelike? I didn't see any. Like, what's
Oh
that?
yeah, where you select upgrades and power paths to help you on your every run. It's basically a roguelike.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And he
Okay.
gets permanent upgrades and stuff like that, or I think if I remember right. But anyways, uh, $20 for this, which probably, especially if being a roguelike, indefinite amount of content, right? Because I call it the lazy man's content, because they basically, the gameplay loop is you replay. It's like an old arcade high score type addiction. Can I beat it? Can I do better? Can I do this? What can I do? Anyways, so roguelikes can have an indefinite amount of replay value, which is good. So anyways, $20 for all this, but yet Rainbow Six, I'm just using this game as example, licensed like what's it called? I forgot, Nickelodeon characters, $50 for a skin. So to put it in perspective, man, it's like you get a lot more bang for your buck for the Donkey
Mm-hmm.
Kong, but it's just amazing that it kind of does leave a sour taste in your mouth, because at first Nintendo was pretty good. They still are overall, but they seem to be changing gears. They used to offer a lot of good free DLC, but at the end of the day, they're a business. So what can you do?
Yeah. So I apologize for my cat. He just won't shut up because
I don't even
he's-
hear him. So,
Well, I hope no one else does because.
but which I know we don't really want to dwell on pricing. That's besides. But what do you think about the DLC in general?
Oh,
Do you
well,
think
like
it's a
I
little
said,
bit too soon?
I think no, 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 no. Okay. So what I wanted to say is I actually think they, of all the companies of all DLC ever made, I find it a little steep for what it is, but
Yeah, I agree.
but timing is absolutely perfect because given the size of the game, now is about the time that people are going to be finishing it
and leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Because like
Keep them hooked. Yeah.
for me, that was the big thing with like Zelda and other games is that it is so hard to go back after a year. I'm like, I don't even remember how to friggin' play the game for God's sakes, and I've never understood why more game companies don't do something like about that. Like when you download the DLC and it sees like, oh, it's been 6 months since you turned this game on, why they don't have some kind of toggle that will be like, oh, hey, listen, do you want me to give you a rundown of how the controls work again? You know, like a little tutorial type thing. They
Yeah,
did
yeah,
skip.
yeah. I agree with you. I
Like-
think the timing's good.
Yeah, the timing is perfect.
And I like that. Now, see, I kind of like that because I don't know how much more. Maybe we'll have more Donkey Kong DLC, but it's kind of good to get more replay value. The only, like I said, at the end of the day, it'll get expensive after a while, right? But it's good. And I am still, a lot of people's comments about this wasn't so negative about the price. They were saying, "What? Where's the Mario Kart World DLC?" That
So
is
that
astonishing.
Yeah,
right?
that is a little surprising, and
Yeah, that doesn't make sense because the game has to have it, dude.
Oh,
unless
it,
they're
it
gonna,
will. It's just I don't know. I don't know. I'm telling you, like Bonanza, perfect timing. Honestly, like
Yeah.
Steven finished it like I don't know 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Like if he sees this and he gets the itch, for sure he'll go back and be like, oh, okay, cool. Assuming he likes like that DLC that he sees, but. I do think the timing is absolutely perfect for it. But yeah, you're right. Like me too. I was very surprised that in the Mario segment that we didn't get
yeah,
anything.
I mean, the whole 40th thing is I hope there's more to it because I was kind of again I was disappointed that the movie was said is going to be their main focal point.
Yeah, but
And
that
I'm like,
makes sense,
really?
man. Yeah, because it made billions and trillions of dollars.
Oh,
So
I understand that, but I mean, I love the Yoshi. The remakes will be good. Kind of interesting how it's going to be because you remember the Wii's wand was integrated with the gameplay for
I know. And did you
and
play
you
it?
did see that star. Yeah, you did see
Like,
the star on the new remake. So
yeah.
how are you going to? Oh, I guess
Well, no, you
which stick?
can't. No. So don't forget that this already came out. Galaxy already came out on the Switch as part of the All Stars collection that was available for
you're
3 days
right, I
before they pulled it.
forgot.
And if you use the motion controller, it's pretty much exactly the same, right? Like just point and away you go.
I forgot that it has motion because Mario Tennis you can play. Okay, forget
Okay,
it. I
but
forgot.
no, but don't say forget it because you are right. For all of us that played it with the
Wii.
Pro controller,
Yeah.
it was not enjoyable because
No, it wasn't.
you had to do stupid things. So I'm very curious if they're gonna address that. That's the one downside with porting stuff from the Wii is like, what if I don't want to play with motion controls? So anyway, to keep moving along so we're not too crazy late, we then had a little Pokemon segment which
Yeah, I want your comments on this because let's talk about this.
okay, so they announced Pokemon Pokopia, where you basically play as a Ditto who transforms into a really creepy looking human, and then can like basically take the powers of other Pokemon in a Minecraft game.
yeah, good that you mentioned that because when I first saw it and did it, I'm like, I'm frowning. As I'm watching that, I'm like, oh my, I'm starting to smile, and it's weird because not too many games make me do that. A couple things. A lot of builders, Dragon Quest builders, came to my mind seeing this game. It's obviously maybe not quite that in depth. It might be. Who knows? I like the fact. I mean, the Pokemon besides is that the fact is this is what I've always wanted Animal Crossing to be. A free open range. You build your own home. You control your island 100%. Grow basically Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon because Animal Crossing, why it's very popular, has been very structured and very limited, right? They don't really go, add new stuff in that, but they don't allow you to have true freedom. That's what these cozy games are about, Jared, is freedom. And that's where I'm like thinking, you know what, this actually might not be that bad. My first initial impressions are like, okay, other trash. But I'm like, all right.
I mean,
it might be good.
Yeah, it might be good. I mean, look, you always, with these sorts of things, you have to always, with Pokemon spin-offs or whatever you want to call side games, you always have to take them with a grain of salt. Some of them are
Yes.
like utter crap, like some of those free
Others are-
mobile games.
Yeah.
But yeah, others are good. So when I originally saw this, it did actually remind me a lot of Builders. It really did.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, man. I was, oh wow, Builders, because I love Builders.
Yeah,
I'm like,
me too.
If it's half as good, I might consider buying.
Me
this.
too. I'll be honest, like me too.
Yeah,
So
I have to wait to see what reviews are like.
well, dude, we have to wait to see what the this was like really early days of this.
exactly.
It's only coming out. They put 2026, so God knows what that means.
But yeah, that doesn't anytime soon.
Yeah, but take your time, guys. That's the thing with Pokemon and like the Pokemon Company. I'm like, guys, you don't have to freaking release a damn Pokemon every like 3 days, like take your time with these. I know you want money, but like we want good quality.
Well, they literally print money because you know this is bulk of Pokemon's income is via merchandise.
Yeah,
the
of
games are
course.
just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
drivers to
Yeah.
release the new merchandise.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's the He-Man thing, just they're
yeah.
basically
Well,
giant commercials.
make no mistake, though, the games are extremely successful, guys. But they are the driving force
Yeah,
for
of course.
the merch.
Yeah, yeah.
Is where they make their bulk of their money.
Okay, October 16th, Pokemon Legends ZA. We already knew all
I
about
can't
this.
wait. I can't wait. I can't wait till
They
you
showed
announce it.
more Mega Evolutions, whatever. But they also announced paid DLC
Yeah,
that
that's
was what the hell? I don't see it
it's a Raichu
written.
type thing, and they didn't really give a lot of detail. They said later more on it later, but
Yeah,
you
but
have
they
like
gave
Raichu.
the name. I thought it was like
Uh,
Mega something or.
God, what was it called? Oh, Mega Evolution, not Mega Evolution, Mega
Anyway, it had a.
something.
I'm sorry, guys. It's not part of
Here, let me look
the.
real quick while you're doing that. But
Yeah.
anyways, discuss your thoughts on that because I paid DLC day ones just leaves such a bad taste in
Well,
99.
I need to understand because like they've done the little expansions. We need Steven here.
Mega
To,
Dimension.
oh, there we go. Mega Dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I don't know why this site did a really good job of posting all the different stuff, and then it just said, "Oh, expansion announced with no details." Like, okay, they didn't show anything, just a Raichu. They showed
No,
like an
Raichu,
XY
with two
version.
tails and his Mega
Yeah.
Evolution. But so we don't know much what's going. We don't know about cost either.
Yeah, but more
But
importantly, we don't know like what has been done up to now, right? With the mainline series is like they've released these expansions 6 months out, 8 months out, whatever it is. Steven can correct us all.
yeah,
But this is interesting, and I know Steven is so scared about this. Like he's so scared.
I'm thinking from what it sounds like the teaser. I think it's just skins. They're
Well,
reskins.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm like because like the way
Yeah, that's what I think
the
it is.
way
Yeah.
it was announced, it didn't sound like a full-on expansion like they normally do. Is they
Which-
show all new Pokemon, all new areas. You know,
I mean, I'm not supporting skins in general. Like we talked about that $50 skin, but that's just cosmetic. If it's just cosmetics only, then who cares? That's if you want to
Well,
buy it, that's
yeah. So
you're-
so to be continued, guys. Like we don't
Yeah.
actually. They
We
didn't.
don't
They
know enough
really
info.
didn't say like boo about this.
I don't think it's going to be gameplay, man, because they've never, like you said, they've never done that. And that really does, if it is gameplay, again, that's really, a lot of gamers don't like that. Now, again, this is
What do you-
Pokemon,
what
so
do you
they'll
mean?
still,
They've done.
meaning,
No, but they
meaning-
have released expansions. That's what they've been doing. For
oh,
the
no,
last,
I'm
like-
talking about day one expansion.
No,
They
yeah,
don't do that.
precisely. No,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So that's why I don't think it's going to be gameplay. I think it's just going to be cosmetics, which is fine. You know, each their own. People enjoy that. If they want to support it, fine. But again, I don't like day one DLCs. And I know Steven doesn't, I think if I remember right, he's made comments. He doesn't like that kind of stuff either. No one really does, right?
Well, it's just kind of weird when especially
Yeah,
if it's
weird.
like it's a single player type experience, and then you're gonna like already have like what like it's
Because of
weird.
this, man,
Yeah,
they know
yeah,
it
well,
sells. They know it sells.
okay, I hate pronouncing this game. It's Danganronpa. I hate that. The bear game.
Yeah, that game.
2x2, I think is how it's pronounced. It's Switch 1 and 2 is coming out in 2026. Huge following. This is another one that has a massive like following.
Oh,
I've
it does.
never-
It's just not my cup
Yeah,
of tea.
no, me too. And I can't even pronounce the damn thing.
Oh, by the way, again, back to the Pokemon before we venture out, is when you saw the presentation there and the the more cool graphics, you could tell like again it's a Switch One game, and I can't wait for a true Pokemon built for this new system, man. I can't wait. Hopefully next year or the year
Yeah,
after.
well, we'll see because that 150 million install base. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I
Like-
forget about that, dude. I forget about that.
Like we'll see. Anyway, but Nintendo typically, like as you can see with the Direct, like they do typically move on, right? It's
Yeah, they
just
do.
that 150 million is a lot. Like, so I'm pretty sure they're thinking twice about this. Okay, next up is a series. Honestly, I haven't played since like the PS2, PSP era, which is Dynasty Warriors. They announced Dynasty Warriors Origins for the Switch 2 coming out January 22nd. It's released on every platform under the sun. And then came the nicest looking game of the whole Direct, believe it or not, which was Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted
It looks
Reflections.
very cool.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, of all, like this was probably the nicest looking game that was there. No joke. Like, guys, looks really looks outstanding.
And two was great, so I put 120 hours into that thing. The only thing about that game is that's why I didn't continue playing it. There's really no player versus player. You'd queue up, and it'd take a while to find matches. So the Monster Hunter Stories doesn't. It does have player versus player, but it doesn't seem to be a huge component. Their gamers
No,
don't
it's a
seem too
turn-based
interested.
RPG,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not.
But what is awesome though, the co-op missions, which Stories 2 had, you got people relatively quickly. So that was that I really enjoyed. About
Well,
I mean, I enjoyed the game.
you have a
But
new one
we're able to
coming
play with people.
March 13th.
What's that?
I said you have a new one
Oh
coming
yeah.
March
I
13th.
can't wait. Yeah. It's gonna be great.
So that was that. And then we had what they call a partner sizzle reel. Okay, whew. So 2 Point Museum was October 28th. Disgaea 7 Complete, October 10th. EA Sports, what is it? FIFA Cup 26, September 26th. Dragon Quest, 1 and 2 HD 2D remake, October 30th. See what I mean? It's like November practically, and then like the first week of February. The timing is off. Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage.
I was surprised
this
at
winter.
that, by the way.
Me too. I was surprised.
I was surprised by that.
But good. Thumbs up. Lego.
What?
What?
You know what they didn't show is they didn't show the new Sonic Racing game because it's coming out.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep going. Lego Voyagers, September 15th. Little Nightmares 3, October 10th. Persona 3 Reload is October 23rd. And then they basically wrapped up the direct with what we had thought, but this is a big turning point for Nintendo. They showed the best trailer for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. By far, this was the best trailer that's been released. You actually got into the game. It's been too high level, like where they were like teasing, like Raccoon City and stuff like that. But this time, like you actually saw like what you were gonna do. I thought it was amazing. And then the news hit. February 27th, which, ladies and gentlemen, that is day and date with the PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox version.
No waiting.
That is a message that Nintendo is sending, that we're basically like, we are here. And anything that gets released on Xbox will now be on Switch. And why do I say that? Because Xbox has that clause that you cannot release an Xbox Series X game if it doesn't work on Xbox Series S. And it's becoming abundantly clear that the Switch is either on par, more powerful than a Series S, which that's pretty sick. And then on top of all of that, they announced that Resident Evil 7 and 8 will also...
You like that? I like that. It was kind of cool, which is good.
Yeah, man,
good for them to get this. It's interesting though. It's the same day, if I remember.
Yeah, it's the same day. Again,
so
I don't
they
know.
did that verb. That to me would. I mean,
I get they're like, oh well, you'll finish 9 and you might want to
go right into these.
Yeah, I get it, but I think between you and me there, I think it's because they don't, like they're like, look,
they're not going to.
Yeah, they're not going to sell like gangbusters.
Now Street Fighter 6 did really well on Switch 2, dude. So hey, you never know.
No. Okay,
remember how you and I said that I don't think 6 would sell, and
exactly.
It's done good.
No, you want to know what the biggest surprise was for me before we get into like the final game and whatever, was that I really thought they were going to do something with Wilds, because Wilds is not performing as well as they wanted to perform right now. But that's all their fault. Like, they lost me. I was all gung-ho, and they lost me. It was taking forever.
Because Rise and Worlds were so good, man. I mean, the core game is still good. I enjoyed it. I finished the story. It was cool. I mean, the story was just, cookie cutters. It was a Monster Hunter mainline is never known for a series. You want good stories, you go to the story series, obviously. But yeah, it's just the performance, and that's what's concerning about Resident Evil, man. They cannot afford this game to not flop, but have a bunch of hindrances on it, because people are going to be watching now. So Capcom needs to get on their act about this, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And anyway, then they announced that they were going to have one more game. And I mean, the second you saw the animation style, because this series it's basically had this animation style since the GameCube, I would say. Like, since Path of Radiance.
Which is fine. I'm not a fan of the anime, but the series holds its own with the gameplay. And, that's what it's all about.
So what are we talking about? Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, which is coming out. And this is interesting, because this site says Switch 1 and 2, but I don't
think
remember
it's.
that.
I don't think it's. No, they didn't. It wasn't Switch 2. One. It was Switch 2.
That's why. So that's
Yeah,
weird. I
so
don't
that
know why I
site's
see
definitely
that.
wrong. Yeah.
I don't know why I see that there. But anyway, 2026. Gameplay looks great. It looks like it's
Yeah,
going to
and-
be in the Three Houses universe based on like.
which is fine.
Yeah. So it's just, for me, like Steven, as soon as he saw it, he was so funny. He texted me. He's like, man, more of that like dating crap.
Dating crap.
Yeah, well, it's like filler, right? Like in between the missions, there's like a lot of filler type stuff. And whereas like in the older ones, it was like the story was told more in battle. Like, yeah, you had a couple of
Which one do you
segments.
prefer, by the way?
I lean more towards the older school ones because I did like that. Like I genuinely liked the fact that it was like, we can talk on the battlefield, and your characters would move to the new
I kind of
area.
like that too.
Because
but
with
at the
this,
same time,
I find it's a little too filler, like too much in the blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, all right, like, let's go, guys. So there you go, guys. That's the longest direct ever. So what were your thoughts?
overall, I thought it was good. I see the tons of releases. First quarter 2026 is packed for Nintendo. That's not including what we're getting next month actually going forward, October, November, December for Nintendo Switch. And you have to remember, we'll be talking probably next podcast next month for PC. There's tons of big releases. So man, the wallet's going to run thin. It's going to be hard you're going to have to maybe pick and choose what you want to play. But yeah, it's really good for Nintendo fans. Fire Emblem's a must. That Pokemon like hybrid, that Pokemon Builders, I'll just call it Builders Wannabe, whatever you want to say, Harvest Moon. That like I said, when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, this might actually be pretty good. So that's probably something I may consider. Of course, Pokemon coming up on is going to be something we'll play. But yeah, overall it was great. The only thing is, like I said, for the Direct, which is coming out in 11 days, is and I'm surprised it wasn't there, guys, because it is on Nintendo Switch 2 and stuff like that. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. So I'm really surprised Sega didn't include that in the Direct. It's mind-boggling, but hey, it is what it is. We got a Virtual Fighter coming, which that's old school stuff. That's good stuff. But overall, I thought it was a good Direct. I'm disappointed on the Mario section, even though we got remakes, whatever. The Yoshi's awesome, but besides the movie, there's really not that much hype in the Mario side. I hope there's a lot more coming within this next year to kind of support it, and I'm sure there will be. I'm sure DLC will be coming for World soon, and that would have been a little bit of the cherry on top if they would have had that. But yeah, overall the Mario Brothers thing is I thought was overall lackluster. But other than that, yeah, everything looks good.
Well, I honestly thought this was one of the best Directs they've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, I was legitimately surprised, and like there were areas that were a little slow and stuff, but
yeah,
I love that nothing is like November. I actually really like that. Like when you think about it and you're like, holy crap, like everything that we saw is gonna be out in like, by the latest, like those 2026 releases. Yes, okay, maybe they'll get pushed out a little bit, but for the most part, it's like everything is like around the corner. And any Direct,
I love that.
Me too. Any Direct that has a surprise Dragon Quest, that's an instant hit for me. The only thing in this whole Direct, honestly, it's not Mario Kart World. It's not any of that stuff. For me, I'm still worried about Metroid. Like that, this Direct, it's like every time they talk about Metroid now, I'm getting more and more worried because of what they're not telling us, which is basically everything. And people that try to defend this by saying like, oh, well, they wanted you to be surprised. Really? Like, are you kidding? Look at their marketing strategy. That's not at all the way Nintendo works. So that's the only thing for me. That was the only thing. I think everything else I'm really excited for. A lot of really good games. At the end of the day, the truth, I have no idea how I'm going to play this stuff. Like, there's just too much. There's like, I guess Hyrule Warriors I'll be skipping out on because
Yeah, that I've never been a fan of that series.
I've got Pokemon and Dragon Quest. The same, like,
That's gonna keep you busy
oh,
for a long time.
Well, that'll
dude.
keep me. Those two will likely keep me busy into January, like, or December, or probably
Yeah.
till Metroid. The thing is that, like, Dragon Quest is like almost November 1st, so I got to move my butt with that.
But Dragon Quest Seven originally, how many hours did it take to finish? 80. Those are old school days, guys. Where games were
So
long.
that's the other giant question mark. The original, the PS1 version, you had skill if you could do it in under 180 hours.
Whoa!
It is
okay, they're
one
gonna
of
definitely
the
modernize that.
it is
Yeah.
one of the longest RPGs ever. Like, and that's not an exaggeration because the fragments, you had no indicator of where they were. So you had to go back to all the islands and search, and it could be in a pot in one random dungeon in the middle of anywhere.
Oh, really?
They radically fixed that with the 3DS version. They had like a meter that when you went into the room, it would go like boop, 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 boop to show you where it was. But even that game was easily 100 hours, like easily. But I think just by the way they're talking, I have a feeling they're gonna, and this might piss off old school fans.
True
we'll see.
fans, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But there's no way, right? Like, take a look at what they've done with the HD 2D remakes, right? They added content, and Yuji Horii even said that, yes, they're streamlining the pacing, but that they're adding new villages and stuff, which is like, I'm like, so what? Like, how's this going to work? One thing that's super cool, they're actually adding, well, two things that are super cool. One is they're adding Earthbound's or Mother, whatever you want to call it, the auto fight thing. So, you know, like when you're really leveled, you could like walk up to enemies and you just instantly beat them and then move on. Like, you didn't go into the battle screen. They're adding that. So
that's good.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, so you'll just boop.
Saves you a lot of time.
Exactly. And the other thing that they're doing is they're removing the monster vocation system. So basically, for those that don't know, there were like monster hearts that you could collect. And anyway, I won't get into all of this. There was like a whole other class that you could do with monsters. They've removed that. They're adding a new class that will allow you to basically be Pokemon, it sounds like, where you can use monsters to attack for you, which that's kind of cool. Which sounds like the one what was it, Monster Rancher or something like that. But the cool thing is you can actually use two classes simultaneously now. So I don't know how exactly that's going to work, but you can see it in the video that they showed where you have like the menu screen or whatever, and you can see that someone's like a warrior and a priest. And like they're getting different levels on each one, different star ratings on each one of these. So no idea how any of this is going to work, but
you're definitely going to look forward to it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it'll be good times.
And it's funny
Pokemon.
because, dude, I'm playing Dragon Warrior 7 right now. So it's hilarious.
So to recap, in Pokemon, I mean, if you're a completist, you could sink a lot of time into that, but their stories tend to be a little bit, probably 20, 30 hours tops, if that. So you probably get through that relatively quickly. I don't know if you're going to be a completist to pitch them all.
It will totally depend if I enjoy the gameplay, the story, stuff like that. Like,
okay.
If I
but
don't,
at least finish
then
the story, though. At least finish the story.
Yeah, I'll do that.
But yeah, you're going to be busy, man. And the Metroid Prime's going to come out, and that probably
yeah,
sink
well,
a good amount of time
unless
too.
Metroid sucks, because that will break my heart. Like if I get into,
you're going to
Metroid,
wait for reviews?
I'm not going to wait for reviews. I'll support it because I want more Metroid games. But like if I start playing it and it's like, you know, really rough type of thing, then I'm going to be like, oh man, you know, I'll probably still go through it knowing me. Like I'll put up with it.
You're going to try the mouse controls?
Like I might try. I don't see how I'm going to do that like longer term because my
that's what
television
I'm
is.
Most people don't have the Switch set up like I do. So
Yeah.
I mean, my mouse pad's right here, but most people don't have that. So I don't see it being.
Also, you have to remember, it's not a mouse, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a Joy-Con, so it's Like, is your wrist going to be killing you after like half an hour of?
Yeah,
like,
you're right. No, you're right.
You know, so I don't know. I don't, you know. Anyway, okay, we got to wrap this up. So, guys, thank you very much. Let us know what you thought of the Nintendo Direct. What are some of the, you know, big highlights for you guys, and what are you looking forward to? And yeah, we'll catch you next week. And we got quite a bit to talk about. There's still lots of stuff. We got to talk about Silk Song. There, we gotta. There's lots of stuff.
Broke some records. Yeah, some good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Catch you next week.
Bye.